News 25 is brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight, a home under construction is set ablaze, and a bike rider is struck by a hit-and-run driver. News 25 starts now.
This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
The State Fire Marshal is investigating a suspect fire. It's Wednesday, June 26th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. A two-story home in Burson Ranch caught fire early this morning. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue and Nye County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to the scene of a structure fire off Weld Avenue here in Pahrump. On fire was a two-story single-family home currently under construction in a neighborhood that has newly built homes in Burson Ranch. The State Fire Marshal is on scene this morning investigating this suspicious fire. The home was currently not hooked up to electricity, according to reports, and it appears that a side window had been opened. The fire appears to have caused major damage to the top story and basement area. Nye County Sheriff's Office auxiliary units secured the structure overnight until the State Fire Marshal arrived on scene. And a female bike rider was struck by a passing car last night near Goldtown Casino. Police interviewed witnesses who reportedly saw the vehicle driver leave the scene of the crash. An auto versus pedestrian accident occurred last night on Highway 160 near Goldtown. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, and Nevada Highway Patrol all responded to the scene. It's unclear at this time if the accident actually occurred in the parking lot of Goldtown or on the highway. Witnesses state that a black vehicle fled traveling northbound on Highway 160 after striking the individual on the bike. That female was transported to Desert View Hospital with injuries sustained as a result of this collision. If you have any information about this accident, you're urged to contact the Nye County Sheriff's Office at 775-751-7000. You can remain anonymous. And all occupants of two vehicles declined to be taken to the hospital this morning from a crash that occurred on the highway. Luckily, no one was transported from a two-vehicle accident that occurred this morning on Highway 160 and Carlton Street. Nevada Highway Patrol, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies, and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were all dispatched to the scene. How the accident occurred is under the direction of Nevada Highway Patrol. Thanks to Alice Cummings for those pictures. Well, a shed caught fire this afternoon on Iron Street. Firefighters were able to contain the blaze to the metal structure. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue and Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies were dispatched to a structure fire this afternoon on Iron Street just west of Linda. Fire crews were able to contain the blaze to the originating structure with no further extension. No injuries have been reported. The fire appears to be accidental in nature. And hundreds of businesses are asking the White House to hold back on tariffs. Here's Angela Miles with more.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, the Fed might not be so quick to cut rates. Despite calls on President Trump for the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates, Chairman Jerome Powell tells reporters the Fed is grappling with the idea, is closely monitoring the implications of incoming information for the economy, and will act as appropriate to sustain economic expansion. Powell stressed the central bank is independent from politics, and politics won't be a consideration. Top business leaders from 300 companies are on Capitol Hill this month. They are trying to get President Trump to back off on tariffs. Tuesday, executives from Best Buy, HP, and Hallmark testified about how the trade war is digging into profits. The CEO of Evenflo tells CNBC prices on strollers would be pushed 20% higher if the tariffs and trade war continue.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks so much, Angela. When we return from this break, we'll have an update on a court trial in district court.
News 25 is brought to you by ABB Roofing, proudly serving Pahrump since 1994. At ABB Roofing, we've got you covered.
Welcome back. Well, today was day 3 in the trial for a local woman, Ashley Wynn. The original court scheduled called for 7 days to be put aside for testimony. Prosecutors and defense attorneys say that they plan to wrap up the testimony Thursday and even ended today early. Court is off on Friday for jury instruction, and Monday is closing arguments. The trial for Ashley Wynn continued in the district court today in front of Judge Robert Lane and the jury. Last night's testimony continued with EMTs from Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue. First was EMT Jose DeSoto, who testified about his arrival on the accident and medical care that he provided. DeSoto says that Wynn was walking around the scene at Honeysuckle and Dandelion Streets and was very agitated. He says that he asked Wynn to step inside the ambulance while he attended to an individual inside the white Camaro. DeSoto said that he started providing medical treatment for Brian Schwanier, who was the driver of the Camaro. The emergency medical technician testified that Wynn admitted that she had been drinking. Also testifying from Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue was Shannon Brezick, who is a registered nurse and an advanced paramedic. She arrived on scene and testified that the white Camaro was pushed in approximately 2 feet on one side. She checked on accident victim Christine Weir. Brezick said that there was no response and no pulse, and there was no reading on the cardio monitor. She declared 33-year-old Christine Weir deceased at that time. That statement was also corroborated by Detective Harry Means with the Nye County Sheriff's Office. Defense attorney Adam Vonderhayden questioned the witnesses about if Ashley Wynn appeared to be intoxicated. Phlebotomist Max Santos with the Nye County Sheriff's Office performed the blood draw on Ashley Wynn at the hospital, which were performed 1 hour apart, one at 5:45 a.m. and the second one at 6:45 a.m. He said that he could tell that Wynn was intoxicated at the time. A registered nurse with Desert View Hospital spoke this morning. He said that Wynn appeared to be intoxicated, that she was aggressive, denied drinking, and said that she had been drinking water for the past 2 hours. Ashley Vaughn also spoke this morning. She is a personal acquaintance of Ashley Wynn, who said that she was at 3 different bars with Wynn that evening, one being the Saddle West, the second being Patty's, and the third being Vince Neal's Tatuado Wildside. She testified to how many drinks she believed that the suspect in this case had that evening. Today in court, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department forensic scientist Leah Groveman testified. She spoke about DNA samples and the 3 samples that she had received regarding the fatal accident from 2016. The defense attorney objected to the chain of custody in this case regarding when and how the Nevada Highway Patrol delivered the samples to the lab. The 3 samples submitted returned presumptive positive for blood. She said they were from a 2002 F-150. One was from the steering wheel, the second from the driver's seat, and the third from the center console. She also received a sample to compare them to, which was from the inside of the mouth of Ashley Wynn. The steering wheel results returned with 2 contributors, one being Ashley Wynn and a second person, with the majority being from the blood of Ashley Wynn. The second from the driver's seat only had 1 contributor, that being Ashley Wynn, and the third from the center console returned being 100% Ashley Wynn's DNA. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department toxicologist Denise Heineman also spoke today. She tested for blood alcohol content in both of the blood draws for Ashley Wynn and one from the driver of the Camaro, Brian Schwanier. She said that Schwanier's test results came back negative for alcohol. The first blood draw, done 1 hour and 45 minutes after the accident occurred at 3:55 in the morning, resulted in a 0.10 ethanol content. The second draw resulted in a 0.08 ethanol content. Both the defense and prosecuting attorneys spoke about retrograde extrapolation, which tells us what the blood alcohol content would have been at 3:55 in the morning. There was questions as to if this toxicologist was qualified enough to testify on the retrograde extrapolation. The judge ruled in favor of hearing the testimony. Heineman testified that Wynn's blood alcohol content would have been approximately 1.3 at the time of the crash. The case will continue for Ashley Wynn concerning the alleged DUI case from 2016, which resulted in the death of 33-year-old Christine Weir. We'll have your county commissioner news right after this break.
News 25 is brought to you by Bill and Robin Law, injury attorneys. Injured, need money? Get Bill and Robin, your local Pahrump injury attorneys.
Well, the Board of County Commissioners discussed hiring an attorney to represent the county during their last meeting.
At the recent Board of County Commissioners meeting, discussion was had involving the approval of 5 contracts for public defender services. The applicants for these contracts include Ronnie Boscovich, Jason Ernest, Nathan Gent, Carl Jogger, Daniel Martinez, and Brent Percival. Commissioner Wickman makes a motion to appoint Martinez, Gent, Percival, Boscovich, and Ernest, however, with the stipulation that Ernest continue their work north of Pahrump. With no discussion, the item went to public comment, where Carl Jogger went up to say his piece on the item.
Well, since my name was left out, and I've had this contract for the last year, and I've been practicing and living here in Nye County for 16 years, and I have been practicing law for over 25 years, and nobody wanted to hear from me, I guess this is when I have to make my public comment. I'm not quite sure why my name was left out. Again, I've been practicing for 25 years. I see you've included a new applicant, Ms. Boscovich, who has about 3 or 4 months experience, and I believe has never done a criminal jury trial ever.
I have received, in my 10.5 years on this board, complaints against 2 public defenders. Only 2. The one I received against Jason Ernst, are you here?
No, I don't believe he is.
The only complaint I have against Jason Ernst is he fails to return his phone calls. The other complaints have all been against you, and simply for being hard to work with. That's the only reason your name was left off of there. All the others, I have nothing on any of them in 10.5 years.
I make all my appearances. I did submit as backup, and I asked to have it in there from a June 3rd email, and I got an email coming back on June 4th from Ms. Dellinger, all the monthly reports that we submit showing over 100 meetings with clients at the jail on weekends. I go to the jail on Sundays. In fact, they know me there on Sundays. When I leave there on Sundays, they say, I'll see you back next Sunday. I meet with all my clients. I didn't even include in those reports all the telephone appointments I have, but I meet with all my clients. I talk to them. Now, I tell my clients what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. So as far as being hard to work with, now, the effect I get for them, the results, that's important. I have over 20 not guilty verdicts, in this county. There's no other criminal defense attorney in this county with that record.
Commissioner Wickman states that her motion will stand without Carl Jogger's name on the list. The chairman makes a call for the vote.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those say nay.
Nay.
4-1.
And Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue's Chief Scott Lewis spoke to county commissioners when it comes to the Memorandum of Understanding in providing medical and fire service to neighboring areas.
I'm here to provide some information regarding the Amargosa ambulance issue. I'm keenly aware of the historical circumstances surrounding both the fire and EMS in Amargosa, including the dissolution of the ambulance service in Amargosa, which preceded me by about 2 to 3 years. At that point, the ambulances were taken out of service, and it was taking off the licensure with the state. And quite frankly, it was at the hands of not just the county, but also the town at the time. Even before becoming the Director of Emergency Management, Pahrump and Beatty stepped up to the plate and were providing both ambulance and fire service to Amargosa on a regular basis because of the issues that they were fighting at that time. As we speak today, we are continuing that same platform. We are still responding to Amargosa on a regular basis with paramedic level service, as is Beatty with an EMT related service. When I became the Director of Emergency Management 11 months ago, Amargosa was a top priority. I met with the fire chief on numerous occasions, and his expression was of an autonomous service that was devoid of direct county influence, however, with county assistance. And I thought that was a sound platform because it mirrored that of what happened with Pahrump in 1999. So over the number of months and meeting on a regular basis, he has kept me abreast of his development. We've assisted in all the training aspects, providing necessary equipment to support the training endeavors and to also bolster his services, including the training that was mentioned just a few minutes ago. Those training classes are occurring not just in Beatty, but also in Tonopah. So we're training a wide band of personnel to serve all the volunteer agencies located within Nye County. Pahrump is also acting as a preceptor program, so all those individuals who are currently training have the availability to come down and ride with us, and then they in turn can go right over to the Desert View Hospital, where they can also internship there as well. So it's a catch-all basin for allowing them to get the appropriate field experience. When it comes to the ambulances themselves, we have set aside, as per my agreement with the Amargosa Fire Chief, we provided 2 ambulances to them that we would will over when they're prepared to take them. The reason, as I've stated on many occasions, that they're empty of all equipment right now is because they have to be. They're not licensed to operate. So the equipment has been placed in a safe place by our logistics officer, and I talked to the fire chief just last week, and he reinforced that they are on target within their budget within the town. They were on target with their autonomous approach, and that they have lined up their medical director. They were lined up with all the insurances, and that the funding was not an issue. Since this is not a funded, budgeted, it's a non-budget expense for Nye County. So even as we were in the meeting today, I was assisting Amargosa Fire Chief with issues on the email. So we're on target from what we agreed to 11 months ago. So where the disconnect occurs on whether the funding and how it should go back to Nye County, I'm not sure where that's coming from. It wasn't the desire of the personnel that were operating there, because they didn't want to get back into what they perceived was a negative relationship. So when the fire chief comes to me and says our license is in place, the medical director has signed, and everything is in place with regard to their training, we have the equipment that we place back into those ambulances, and they have told me that they're going to place 1 in frontline service and 1 reserve status, and they were also going to make like a quick response vehicle. So we're on target. So if there's any questions or anything like that you'd like to have me address further, please let me know. I just don't want to take up too much time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for
Any other-
clarifying that.
Nice update, Chief.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
All right, I hear it's super windy out there. Let's take a look outside. Look at that flag. We're going to find out more with Michael Donahue after this break.
News 25 Weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donahue with today's weather. In Las Vegas, we saw a high of 99 degrees and a low of 75. Death Valley, high of 111 and a low of 78. 97.68 in Amargosa. Beatty at 93.61. Goldfield at 84.52. Tonopah at 83.51. Carson City and Fallon, both with lows of 48 degrees. Fallon a high of 85. Carson City at 75. And finally, we have Fernley with a high of 81 and a low of 47 degrees. Now today in Pahrump, we saw sunny skies, a high of 95 degrees, winds coming out of the south at 14 miles per hour, our humidity at 11%, and our sunrise at 5:28 this morning. Now for tonight, it's currently 94 degrees outside with clear skies. Our low tonight is expected to be 71 degrees with 10 mile per hour winds out of the south-southeast, 18% humidity, and our sunset at 8:05 tonight. Now looking ahead to our 7-day, not many changes since we looked at it yesterday. We're still going to see those nice sunny skies all week long. A little bit more clouds on Saturday, but other than that, we're going to see those clear open skies. For our temperatures, we're still going to be hanging out in about those mid-90s, just around 95 and 98 degrees. We're going to see 95 on tomorrow on Thursday. We're going to be peaking at 98 next Monday. Now for overnights, on Thursday and next Wednesday, we're going to be seeing lows of 70 degrees. And then from Friday through next Tuesday, we're just going to be hanging out about the same thing as our 90s, about those mid-60s, just between 67 and 69 degrees. So now, if you can't make it home in time to catch the news live on TV, make sure to check out our Facebook page. You can catch the news while you're running around town. So now we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna.
All right, I'm Deanna O'Donnell from all of us here at KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.